Hi, this is Justin Demetri, and I'm at the Village Restaurant in Essex, Massachusetts. Now, this is probably my favorite seafood restaurant in the world. It's one of my favorite restaurants of all time. And before I dive into my favorite dish here, which are the local fried clams, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in Gloucester, Mass, part of a fishing family. One of the benefits of that, besides being surrounded by great food, is I've never really had to pay for seafood. And that kind of leads me to why I love this restaurant so much. This is the one place where my grandmother would never give me a hard time about spending money on seafood. And that's kind of carried on with me. I work right across the street at the Essex Shipbuilding Museum, and I send a lot of my customers over here. They're going to get a good food for a good price, and with that classic New England charm that you expect when you're visiting Cape Ann. Over the years, I've worked in restaurants, ran a few cafes. Of course, I eked out an existence fishing and lobstering with my family as a kid. These days, I do more, I do tours for visitors at the Essex Shipbuilding Museum, where it naturally boils down to fish. And also, I'm a freelance writer. I've written for years for lifeinitaly.com. Some of my work on Italian food is still some of the highest ranked in Google. Now, as far as the job here, I'm very capable of traveling for this position. Also, if it means that my wife can spend more time at home with our son, then all the more to it. After all, I grew up in a family where my dad was out for days at sea, so whatever it takes to keep your family going. Now, what we have here is what are my favorite fried clams in the area, which says a lot because we're on what some people call Clam Row. Right down the street from us, Woodman's invented this dish, the fried clam, about 100 years ago. These clams are dug just downriver from us by local clammers. It all started right here, and you have to have a pretty good product if you're going to compete with the place that invented it, and of course the world famous clam box just a few miles down the road. But these are my favorite, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is the best baked haddock around. I've never had a bad meal here, and of course it all comes with the signature New England cornbread as well. Let's talk a little bit about the clams themselves. Like I said, these are dug down the river, down in the Essex River, or at least in the Great Marsh, part of our estuary here. And what I like about the clams here, I mean, they're all the same clams, they all come from the same area, so you really have to separate yourself by how you cook them. As you can see, this is a nice crispy clam batter that they use here. For my days as a fry cook, you usually get this from a lot more corn flour in the batter. They're lightly fried, and unlike other places, they're not too greasy. They hold up well, they're firm, they're crunchy. The batter is just sweet enough, it doesn't take anything away from the clam. Notice how I didn't say the term whole belly, because around here that's redundant. You're either getting these clams as steamers or you're getting them fried whole. For those of you who maybe a little bit squeamish about whole belly clams, this is the one place I would recommend to get clam strips, and here's why. Clam strips were developed just down the road from us in Ipswich, and if you go to any other restaurant nationwide and you order clam strips, chances are you're not getting a soft shell clam from this river. What you're getting is what we locals call rubber bands. You're getting a piece of a clam, a surf clam, which is a little more chewy. It definitely is not like this. So why come to the village if you want clam strips? Because they're the only place I know that takes these and removes the belly. So you're getting the real deal. And without further ado, I'm going to dive into one of these right here, my absolute favorite thing on earth. Like I said, crispy and crunchy, not greasy. The batter is just sweet enough, but the sweetness of the clam it overtakes that. So you have a nice, it's a really nice flavor. Some people don't like the big clams. I personally like the bigger clams, but you get a nice mix here. There's a nice select size for you, and this is just the beginning of it here, and this is just seafood. But they do everything else great here. This is a great place for a burger as well, especially at lunchtime. And chances are when I'm working Sunday nights across the street of the Essex Shipbuilding Museum, I'm going to get a text around 5 o'clock from my wife saying, let's pick up some baked haddock. This is my favorite baked haddock outside of my grandmother. So with that being said, I think I'm going to enjoy the rest of my clams. I want to thank you for the opportunity for this position. I will be happy to answer any other questions. And pardon me while I dip into some more clams. This is Justin Demetri, and I'm the guy that makes everybody hungry.